So welcome everybody. My name is Keith Van Beek and I'm the Deputy County Administrator, and so glad to have a good turnout here today. I will just immediately address something in the room. We are taping it, so hi everyone out there that might be watching this otherwise. You know, there's always employees that aren't able to make these rollout meetings, so we wanted to get a video version of it so we can load it on our employee portal and maybe have teams look at it together during a staff meeting or anything, just to get information out about the Employee Assistance Program. Real short introduction and context. The county has had an EAP program for, I figure, at least 20 years if we go back. But probably emerging over the last 3 or 4 years, we get a report every quarter, and there was no detailed information about individual employees or anything, but we were noticing that the utilization, the use of the services really were not particularly high. I mean, in some ways we could go, hey, that's great. You know, we have employees that don't have any problems at all. And realistically, we just know that life can catch up with all of us. And having these services really is a great advantage to employees. When we talked to our prior provider, you know, there was a little bit of an element where I think they were more kind of, hey, here's the card, hand it out to employees, and if people call, great, and if they don't, probably that was okay with them too. And it just wasn't, you know, a match that we really thought we wanted to continue. So we went out for a RFP, a request for proposals process, and really did a lot of thinking and discussing about what we wanted to have in a program. And as a result of that, we have entered into a contract with Pine Rest. I've been more than pleased with the relationship that we've had with Bob, who I'm going to introduce in a moment. Just very much that mission, right, of wanting to offer service, advertise services, and make sure that employees, you know, if need be, or if it would be helpful, would take advantage of those services. So I'm really pleased to introduce Marcia Stonehouse and Bob Vandepol from Pine Rest. They're going to go through a presentation today, a little bit of web, a little bit just question and answer, a lot of the flyer that you have. All of these materials are available for our video crew on our employee portal. And it is informal, so even though we have a camera here, if you have questions, please go ahead and ask those questions. And we've been doing this maybe in about 30-35 minutes is usually about the presentation time. Okay, so again, Bob, welcome, thank you.
Thank you. So how many mental health professionals in the room? We could do a group. We could do a group. Well, thank you. Honored to serve, and in partner with you. You know, sometimes it's really, really hard to be both a human and an employee at the same time. It's hard to be both at the same time. Sometimes it's hard to be one, but it's hard to do both at the same time because there are things at home that make it really difficult to focus and to have energy and to be productive at work. And sometimes there are things at work, that's why they call it work, that's why you get paid for it, that make it difficult to go home and to be all that you can be there in whatever roles you fill there. And so Ottawa County cares about you as both a person and as an employee, and has engaged us to provide some services for you that are available. These services are available to you and anybody in your household. First question is, what's a household? And our answer to that is anybody that is in your family that lives in your house. Okay? And if you have exceptions to that, please raise them because we almost always say yes. We are part of like you, part of a mission-driven organization, a nonprofit organization. We very, very, very much wish to have meaningful utilization and to help you. So I think that's a differentiator for us. But if you'll look with me here, you'll see some of the services that are available. So again, for you and anybody in your household, these are available. One is just confidential counseling, EAP counseling. Our standard contract is 3 free sessions. Ottawa County has purchased 5. And so you and anybody in your household. So this can be you, this can be you and a partner, this can be the kids, it can be any combination or all thereof. That 50-minute hour counts as 1. So you receive 5, okay? That's a big value if you think about that. It's $700, $800 probably. That's available for you. Those can be used for your typical mental health type issues, depression, anxiety, whatever the case may be, relationship issues. We also have people that use them for very much life practical issues like, okay, my wife was just offered a promotion, it's going to mean more travel. We want to sit down and talk about this. How do we make those adaptations to our family? It's also true that the 5 sessions are available per issue or incident, okay, by addition, not multiplication. So if your family has a tough year, let's say that in February, grandma passes away, and you would like to sit down with your kids in the presence of a professional and just talk about death and grief and whatever issues they may have about that. We're going to give you up to 5. Okay? If later in October, Junior gets in trouble at school, we're going to give you another 5. Okay? But you can't say, hi, I'm depressed, anxious, drinking too much, and we're fighting, so I want 20. Okay? We can't do that. But per issue or per incident, we will make that available to you. Those are available in 3 ways. One, we have 16 clinics in West Michigan. The ones from Traverse City down to about Portage, plus 2 in Iowa. If you're really concerned about confidentiality, you can go there. But all of those, the ones closest here are Holland, Zeeland, Grand Haven, Spring Lake, Granville, Walker, depends on where you live, what's convenient, but I don't know, Marcia, it took me about 35 minutes to get here, I think, from Central Campus. I'm sure we have about 8 or 10 clinics within an hour of you, so that can work. So those sessions can happen there. We also have a number of our clinicians that are now trained, specially trained and vetted in teletherapy. And so you can use a HIPAA-compliant video live feed product and do it from comfy confines of your couch, if you like. So that saves you some convenience and preserves a little more confidentiality. I know we did a rollout last week, and somebody was talking about having a grandchild living in their home that was addicted at birth, and parents are no longer in the picture, and they said, you mean I could have the video live feed on and they could see how this child really behaves in its home environment and get a better read on that? And yeah, so that's available also. And then the third is that in the leadership here from your organization, in their desire to really make this a partnership, they have scheduled something that's brand new for us, and they're calling them employee visibility visits. And so there will be about 30 times within the next year where we will have a Pine Rest clinician available at the locations. I think you have 17 locations or something, so it ends up being about 2 per. But somebody will be available, and they'll probably do a training and then be available to stick around, and you can just talk with them at that time if you wish. Okay? So a variety of ways that can happen. First question, and the next question that often comes up is, how confidential is this? And our commitment to you is that once per quarter, your HR department will receive a report that says this many people use this many sessions. That's it. Strictly utilization, no names, no diagnostics, nothing that would track them back to you. So we take that very, very seriously. Any questions about the counseling piece of that? Would you have questions if we weren't being videotaped? Okay. Okay, very simple. There's a number on the bottom. You dial 455-6210. Your access, your magic words to free are Ottawa County EAP. And that's where it goes. Marshall will go into a little greater detail in a bit about that process. Sometimes you have something that's distracting you, bothering you, and it isn't really a counseling issue, but you just say, I'd love to be able to talk to somebody about this. So my teenager just made a statement that really disturbed me. Or some other life issue. And so there's also a telephone hotline, and you can pick that up 24/7 and talk to a counselor. You dial the same number and say, I'm not looking for an appointment, but can I talk to a counselor? Those are usually 15 minutes. You know, it's just you have a question and you want to poke the bear and find out. And so that's available for you as well. That's unlimited. It doesn't count as one of your fives. We're not the Lonely Hearts Club, so they don't necessarily want to be best friends, but if you have an issue that you want to talk about, that's there for you as well. Okay? All right? If, and you see on the flyer, you can see where all the locations are in the light blue box for the counseling appointments. Flip it over, please. And you see some discussion about the employee visibility engagement and the trainings. So yes, we'll be out 30 times, and trainings have been tentatively, semi-firmly identified for the different locations. We proposed a catalog of available trainings, and so HR has jumped on some of those and started to book them. If you have additional suggestions about something you'd really like to have a lunch and learn about like this, communicate with HR, and we'll find somebody who's an expert in it and develop a training for it as well. So those will happen within the visibility visits primarily. Okay. Topics: stress management, step family living, elder care, conflict resolution, assertiveness. Those are some of the topics that are the frequent flyers. Okay. Drop down a little further, you see elder care consultation. Okay, so because of the changing demographics of our society, the graying of the baby boomers, for the first time, the American employee is more likely to miss work taking dad and mom to the doctor than taking kids to the doctor. It's the way that it is, and that's a big issue. So my parents live 500 miles away, they're in their 80s, seem to be doing fine, but when we get to those decisions about can they still live in their home, if they can, what resources can be brought to bear so that they can stay there longer, that's really their wish. So how do we get them rides and nutritious meals and get to church and make sure medical care is there and physical therapy and all of those kind of things. And then what if dad passes? Mom's here. Mom passes. Dad's here. What decisions do we need to make? How do we secure funding? If they need placement, what are the differences between all of those different levels of care, and how do you do that? Most of us are going to do that once or twice in our lives, right? And so very few of us are experts in it. We have engaged experts in it. They're Pine Rest Geriatric Units case managers. So they do this for a job full time, and they are available on an unlimited basis by phone if you have those kind of questions. So they can guide you on how do you fill out those darn forms and make recommendations based upon that. Lots of traction under this service. So that's a big one. On the other side, legal consultation. It can be very distracting and perplexing if you're going through a legal issue. Hopefully that's not something you do on a regular basis either. So whether it's family law, divorce, custody, whatever it may be, landlord, tenant, too much fun last weekend, whatever the case may be, we have a relationship with Rhodes McKee Law Firm, downtown Grand Rapids, and you get 30 minutes free on the phone with a partner. I'm seeing some smiles. Are some of you connected to other law firms? Okay. With apologies to any other law firms that are represented here. But you get 30 minutes with a partner, and then a 20% discount moving forward. So it's available for you as well. questions about any of that thus far? Okay. Just letting you know, you can also do a little bit of shopping if you want to do a little online shopping, and you're saying, boy, if I'm going to go for counseling, I want to know. If you click on Find a Clinician here, just give me a heads up. And slide up, please. See, there's like 300 or so here. You can sort them by specialty, by location, and all of that too. You can click on the Learn More, and you can get a sense of who it is that you may want to see. If you have a more generic request, like I'd like to see somebody in Ottawa County, and the issue is anxiety or depression, our commitment is to get you in within 48, 72 on the outside hours. If you have a more specific request, then it could take a little longer just for us to make sure that they're available. Okay, but it's kind of nice to see, okay, he doesn't look like a geek, I can talk to that guy, right? Okay, Marcia, could you talk about the process of scheduling and then also walk them through the personal advantage?
Yep. Great. Here we go. Okay. So Bob talked a little bit about the benefit that you get, how many visits that you get, but then you're asking, how do I set this up? How do I know who to schedule with, what to ask for, what to say? What we say is, the magic words to free when you call us. On the number here, there's a number on the bottom of your sheet you can see for the EAP to make appointment, it says. Magic words to free, Ottawa County, and EAP. So if you say those words, we can hook you up with the 5 free visits. They will likely also ask you about your insurance as well, and that is mainly just to make sure that we're hooking you up with a therapist that is going to be able to continue after those 5 free sessions if you decide that you'd like to. A lot of issues can be resolved in 3 to 5 sessions, but if you'd like to continue, we want to make sure it's a smooth transition for you, and you don't have to have a new relationship just because you want to continue that counseling. So yeah, if you call that number, you would be hooked up with a representative that can ask you some brief questions to help you figure out, what kinds of specialties might I be looking for. If you already have a good idea of, like Bob said, maybe anxiety, maybe I'm struggling with grief and loss, certain specialty that you already know, I'm looking for this. The website's a great resource, like he said, if you want to do some shopping there. What we would advise, choose 2 to 3 therapists that you think, these 3 I might be able to get along with great, and that way we can check their schedules with you and figure out who's going to be a good fit. And then we can also narrow it down as well when you call by specialty to make sure that you're being scheduled with a therapist that specializes in that area that you're looking for. So yeah, we just kind of narrow it down by specialty, by age group, if it's a child, if it's an older adult, really want to make sure that we're finding the right fit for whatever you're coming in for. Yeah, and then as far as the website goes, if you look on the back of your flyer here, there is one more resource that you have available to you through this benefit. It's called the Personal Advantage Online Library. And what this is basically an online library full of articles, resources, lots of different things that you can use. If you want to go ahead and sign us in here. Your password's right here on the flyer. It's Ottawa County EAP, foolproof. So you'll just put in Ottawa County EAP there, and you can see what comes up here is a multitude of different categories. If you're interested in finding out anything about maybe a topic like anxiety, depression, or even relationship type issues, something that you wanted to look up, what we kind of say is, you look up things on WebMD and you're wondering, is this credible? This is kind of scary, I might die. So just credible information vetted by Harvard for some of it, to use for you. So if you want to go ahead and click on the link up there, emotional well-being, for example, there, Just kind of give you an example. It's got many categories like depression, anxiety, addiction, assessments. The assessments, if you want to click on the assessments there, just for example. There's an emotional health assessment. You can actually log in to the website as well if you wanted to do an individual login. And that way it's more private if you wanted to take an assessment, you know, to figure out how stressed am I, how, you know, do I have anxiety, you know, this emotional health assessment. If you wanted to do that on your own, you could do that privately. It's confidential. If you want to scroll to the top again and click on relationships, just for example here, and scroll down a little bit. Here's the topic categories. Here you can see caregiving, which is great for elder care or any other caregiving needs. That caregiver support is one of those subcategories there. The interpersonal relationships is a great one. It's got a lot of good categories there. Bullying, ethnicities it says, supervising, wedding planning, just a lot of different categories to look through. And then if you want to scroll back up there, click on financial. This one is great because it gives you a lot of good things like calculators. If you want to click on the calculators there, we'll show you that. Lots of good things to use for that. As far as like mortgage calculators you can see, or the loan calculator, you know, how long is it going to take me to pay off this loan with this much interest? You know, just a lot of great tools to use there. If you want to scroll back up and click on health. You can scroll down there. Lots of great things on health, you know, everything from like what kind of running shoes should I get to information on treatments for cancer or diabetes, stress, you can see, skin health, lots of different things to look through as far as health goes. Healthy recipes on there, so just a great resource for you there as well. Yep, recipes, look at that, that's awesome. So yeah, if you have a specific you know, type of eating that you're trying to, or diet that you're trying to go under, you can definitely find information there too. So if you want to scroll back up and click on legal. Legal is a great category. It has things like, we've got the consumer law there, caring for children. One of the great ones that we use this one for is the, oh man, what was the legal one that we had?
Wills and estates.
The wills and estates one, yep. So you've got your estate and gift taxes, it says living trusts, life insurance, lots of great information. You know, these things don't come up that often, and when they do, it's, you know, how do I find out more about what's going on in each category there?
So Keith talked about being Dutch, I am too. So I just finished my will and trust. Yes. Procrastinated that for a long time. So I went under the wills, I found a place that said the 20 questions you should answer before you start paying your attorney. Then I got my 30 minutes free and my 20% discount and got it all done at a really good deal. Nice combination there.
So, yep, very useful there as well. So if you want to scroll back up to the top there, there's one last category of personal growth. So you've got lots of great categories here too. Effective communication, human resources. This is a good category for supervisors. There's effective supervision there, and great HR categories as well. Workplace bullying. Just lots of different categories if you're looking for communication skills, or you know, anything to nurture yourself in the workplace as well. So great resource for work, life, and relationships. So yeah, so that's all available to you on the website. And this is going to be, the link to this website is going to be available on your portal as well, is what I understand. So, any questions about that at all? Okay. Okay, we want to take it away.
All right. Thank you, Marcia.
Yeah.
So I think Erin is going to pull up our portal right now. And not only for this, but we're obviously encouraging employees to get more and more familiar with finding the portal, using the portal. It's the old Lotus Notes front page going away, and now we have the portal. So right there, it's scrolling across the top, so it's kind of the main feature right now, so it's really easy to get in there. But also, as this changes, under Benefits, Employee Assistance Program, you click on there, and then you're going to have lots of information. It talks about, you know, directly the things that Bob went through about how you can access services for counseling. There's a link to the flyer, so the flyer that you're all working off right now is right there. Talks about, you know, cost to me, who can use the program, all of those types of things. There's lots of really good information on there, including drop downs and then the link into the Personal Advantage library. So the last thing I'll kind of say to wrap things up is, you know, we're putting out the portal, administration is coming out and talking to everyone, and hopefully this is something that people see value in and would take advantage of using. We understand though that us coming out, or even like if a supervisor or HR department would know that someone's maybe, you know, in a situation where maybe they would benefit to going from this, if we say that, that might be helpful, right? But I think coworkers, you work with, you know people better, you just interact with them more often. If you can really support this program and talk about this program and be good coworkers to each other and encourage people, hey, you know, this service is available, I think that's where we're really going to get, you know, the most value. And when I say value, it's not that Dutch part of me that Bob was talking about, right? It's more, we just really want employees to take advantage of this to take care of themselves and take care of others. So I really encourage you to do that, where if you see someone that maybe someone's struggling with something or has a question, use it, okay? Encourage others to use it.